Hello, everyone. I just wanted to start this first video by giving a little introduction to this horse. His name is Thor, and I do not own him. He's actually at a local horse therapy barn that I've been volunteering at because I'd like to do more of that. But anyways, so a little bit of background on Thor. They don't know a whole lot on him, but he has grumpiness issues. This is actually my second session with him. My first session was not very successful, in my opinion. It ended with me feeling pretty frustrated with him. And just to give an overview on the first session, so every time I went to touch him, because usually I do natural horsemanship, I like to follow Pat Pirelli, and I was trying to do the friendly game, which is where you just touch the horse all over and make sure they're comfortable with it. And he was getting pretty angry with me, and pretty threatening. And you might see him act threatening in this video a few times. But what I was going for was leaving him loose this time. He never decided to walk away and leave me, but because he was loose, he always had the option to leave me anytime that he wanted to, in case he's in pain, in case something's bothering him. He always has the right to leave. But the first time I got him out, I just had him on halter and lead rope. I wasn't really expecting him to act the way he did. And also I had the owner of the horse and the owner of the horse therapy barn, plus someone else who works there, watching me. And so I don't know if you guys are like this, but I feel a little shy under pressure. And then the owner came out and said I was acting way too timid with him, and I didn't feel intimidated by him. So usually I feel like if I'm feeling confident, then my body language should naturally be confident. But I guess that was not the case. I don't do well working in front of people because I usually feel pretty shy around the people, and then the horse senses that, and that's pretty bad. But this time when I was working with him, I was all by myself. And that's why I wanted to record it, because I felt like I could do what I wanted since I was by myself. I do apologize that this video is upright. There was just this mounting block in the arena that was pretty large, so I was able to lean the phone up on it. Okay, sorry for all the background. Now a little bit more on Thor. So he gets grumpy when you touch him. Some of the other people who work there suspect that it's pain, and it might be pain related. They haven't fully ruled out pain, which is why even when he acts threatening, I don't leave his space, but I stay there, but I also don't really get after him because I wasn't really sure if it was pain, and I didn't want to have a real harsh reaction in case he was in pain. Since this video, I have had another session with him, which I have gotten more firm with him when he did act that way. But with this horse, day one, I tried to give him all the scratches and pets and loves and find his favorite spots, and he did not have any. He didn't really act like he enjoyed touch, if I'm being honest. So because of that, this next session, I was just figuring the best thing I could do for him was walk out of his space. Like, I think that's what this horse craves, is just having a bigger personal space bubble. So because of that, I was trying to, whenever he behaved in a nice way, I was trying to walk away, give him a release, and then come back, see if I could touch him a little bit more. And then when he gets kind of mad and upset, I stand my ground, and I wait for him to be content, and then I leave again, because I want him to know that if he wants me out of his space, he doesn't need to act mean about it. Honestly, I would like him to learn, and maybe he will more after this third session that I just had with him today. But I want him to learn that if he is in pain, if I'm causing pain, he has a right to move his feet and to walk away, and I won't be mad or anything. But I don't want him to turn out at me like he's going to bite me or in anger. I don't think that's a good practice. I don't think that's safe. So I really don't like that behavior. So right there, he acted pretty mad. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to stay here. And I didn't insist on touching him in that exact moment because I wasn't sure if it was a pain response. So I stayed in his space, but I moved my hand, and then I waited, and then I eventually tried again, just to kind of show him that if he wants me to leave his space, he needs to be tolerant and well-behaved. So this goes on for a while. A little bit more on his background. So apparently he used to be a racehorse, and the vet was saying that he was raced for a while. I'm not sure how she knows that, and I can't remember if they said 6 or so years, but she said he was never good, and he didn't really win any races, but he was raced for a long time, even though he wasn't really that good at it. And then he ended up at an auction, or it may have been a kill pen of some sort, and his owner, who bought him from that, sorry, I got a dog over here that's pretty noisy, but his owner who got him didn't know much about horses, but wanted to rescue a horse, so they bought him and then sent him to a trainer, I think for like 30 or 60 days, and then he came back, but he just sat in a stall. They didn't really get him out. And I think that went on for years until this horse therapy barn, they purchased this boarding barn, and I guess the owners, I can't remember if they're actually leasing him out to the therapy barn or if they sold him. But now the horse therapy barn has him, so they're hoping to use him for equine therapy. But right now, it's just a big thing of not pushing him, but figuring out what he's comfortable doing, if he can be good for the program, if he won't be good for the program, and figuring that out. He is broke to ride, and they have ridden him before, but I don't know, me personally, and maybe it's because I'm more into natural horsemanship, but if there's a horse that isn't comfortable being touched all over, I don't feel like I should be riding them. I just feel like you gotta start with the basics and building blocks and first get comfortable with touch and then get comfortable following some commands and then ride. So he is broke. I mean, he used to be a racehorse. He knows things, but I really want to just work on overcoming this grumpiness to begin. But he also, when it comes to pain, he's been doing something weird with his tongue. He's been having a choking problem. He tosses his head sometimes. So they've had a dentist come out and do his teeth. She did find a broken tooth in his mouth and removed it. But she did not suspect that would cause pain, though. And so another thing we're suspicious of is ulcers. And they can't afford to scope him for ulcers. So I'm not sure if I can convince them to treat him. This is a therapy barn, so they don't have a whole bunch in funding. So we're kind of limited there. And that's another reason why I wanted to have a pretty gentle approach with him. Just because if it is pain, I'm trying to be really gentle. But if it's not pain, then we definitely need to work through his behavior problems. So that is Thor. And once again, this was my second session with him. It's not the entire session, it's just a little snippet. I mean, let me know if you want them to be longer or shorter, or an edited version of a longer video. I just know myself when I'm on YouTube, I usually go for like the 10-minute long videos. So I wanted it to be around this length. And I don't really like it when videos stop and start because I always wonder, well, what happened between the two films? And so I wanted to show you guys a continuous thing to show that I'm not hiding anything. This was the entirety of like a 10-minute session. So, By the way, by the end of this, okay, he showed some aggression there. So I'm just standing my ground. I'm going to keep doing it. Stand my ground. I was going to say, by the end of this session, I was able to touch all over his body, and I made sure to pick out his hooves while he was loose like this, and it went well. And a little sneak peek on the next session, which I haven't posted yet, but on the third session, which was today, there was a lot of improvement. So, high hopes for this horse. Subscribe if you want to hear more about Thor. Thanks.